the untold story of Lucifer's fall. What really happened? Imagine this. You're standing in the middle of a grand golden city, so bright, so perfect, it almost feels unreal. Towering beings with wings like living fire move with a power and grace that's beyond anything on earth. And at the center of it all, one figure stands out, more dazzling than the rest. His name? Lucifer. Yeah, that Lucifer. The one we now call Satan, the devil, the enemy. But before he was the prince of darkness, he was something else, something far greater. And today we're diving into the untold story of his fall. What really happened? Was it just pride? Was it jealousy? Or was it something much bigger? Let's rewind to the very beginning. Lucifer wasn't always the villain. In fact, he was the complete opposite. He was one of the most powerful and beautiful angels God had ever created. The Bible describes him in Ezekiel 28 as perfect in beauty, covered in dazzling gemstones, and full of wisdom. He wasn't just another angel. He was a cherub, one of the highest-ranking angels in heaven. He had authority. He had influence. He had everything. But here's where things get interesting. Lucifer wasn't just an angel. He was a worship leader. Imagine a heavenly choir, millions of angels singing in perfect harmony, praising God. And Lucifer? He was at the center of it all. Some believe his very being was created for music, that his voice and even his body radiated sound and praise. But somewhere along the way, something changed. Maybe it started as a small thought, a whisper in his mind, a feeling that he deserved more, that he wasn't just a leader of worship, he should be the one receiving worship. Isaiah 14 gives us a glimpse into Lucifer's thoughts. 5 times he says, I will ascend to the heavens. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will sit enthroned on the Mount of Assembly. I will ascend above the tops of the clouds. And then the biggest one, I will make myself like the Most High. That's it. That's the moment everything changed. Lucifer wasn't content with his position. He wanted the throne. He wanted to be God. And that's where pride, the very first sin in history, was born. But here's the part we don't talk about enough. Lucifer wasn't alone. Revelation 12 tells us that when he rebelled, he convinced 1/3 of the angels to follow him. Think about that. 1/3 of heaven's army turned against God. That means Lucifer must have been insanely persuasive. He sold them a vision. Maybe he promised them power, freedom, or a new order where they made the rules. But there was one thing Lucifer underestimated: God. See, Lucifer may have been powerful, but he was still created. God, he's eternal. He's all-knowing. And you don't outsmart the one who literally spoke the universe into existence. The Bible doesn't give us all the details of how the battle went down, but Revelation 12 says, Michael, the archangel, led God's army against Lucifer and his followers. And let's be real, this wasn't some long, drawn-out war. This was an instant defeat. Lucifer and his rebels were thrown out of heaven. Imagine that moment. 1 second, they're in the presence of God's glory. The next, they're plummeting, falling, cast down to earth like lightning. From the highest position in heaven to the lowest exile in history. And here's where things get even crazier. Lucifer didn't just accept defeat. No, he doubled down. If he couldn't rule in heaven, he'd rule somewhere else. And that's where earth and humanity comes into the picture. Genesis tells us that when God created humans, he gave them something Lucifer never had: his image. Mankind was made like God, in his likeness. And guess what? That must have infuriated Lucifer. So, what does he do? He targets humanity. He slithers into the Garden of Eden, and with just a few words, he convinces Eve and then Adam to turn away from God. And just like that, sin enters the world. That moment in the garden. That wasn't random. That was revenge. That was Lucifer, trying to destroy what God loved most. And ever since, he's been on a mission to steal, kill, and destroy. But here's the good news: Lucifer lost in heaven. He lost in the garden, and spoiler alert, he loses in the end. Revelation tells us that one day Satan will be thrown into the lake of fire forever. No more lies, no more destruction, no more rebellion, just justice. And that's the real story of Lucifer's fall. Not just a tale of pride, but a war against God himself, a war he can never win. So, what do we take from this? First, pride is dangerous. If an angel could fall because of it, imagine how careful we need to be. Second, Satan is real, and his goal is to pull us away from God. But most importantly, God always wins, and in the end, that's all that really matters. Lucifer's story isn't just ancient history. It's a warning, a battle that still rages today. Pride, deception, rebellion, they didn't stop with him. But here's the good news. God's power is greater. So, what do you think? Does Lucifer's fall change the way you see the battle between good and evil? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. And hey, if you found this story powerful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a deep dive like this. Let's keep uncovering the truth together. Until next time, stay strong, stay watchful, and remember, God always wins.